Alright, so it looks like this is our first episode of How To's. I'm Gene.
Oscar.
Yep. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and explain what our How To's consist of. So our How To's are just us giving us tips on how to do like specific things regarding anime. Like I feel that we've watched it long enough that we can at least give some kind of advice, whether good or bad, but as long as just you take it in a positive light, you know? And yeah, that's all I gotta say regarding that matter.
These will come up every other week or so as we see fit. Different topics go over. They may pertain to the unboxings or actual reviews, but we'll see as we go along. And of course, please leave suggestions. It helps everyone brainstorm and get content better out there.
Yeah, and always remember too that we do these videos because we like them, and also because we want you guys to use them as a referral to friends. Like, oh, hey, these guys know what they're talking about. Watch this. They're spoiler free. They at least have somewhat of an idea. That's just doing this for the fun and to benefit you guys as well. You know.
Okay, so as you saw from the title of the video, how to survive fillers. But first, we're gonna go ahead and define what is a filler. Did you want to go ahead and do that, or
you can go ahead?
All right.
So you're wearing the fancy shirt and shit, so might as well. But
coincident, I just wanted to wear a dress shirt.
That's fine. I wish you would have told me, but whatever.
It's fine. So whenever you get to a point in an anime where it's past the source material, or you're just waiting, the production company is waiting for the actual written or illustrated version to get further, they have to buy time. And of course, when you're on TV, you got to put something out. If not, you're gonna lose viewership or you lose your block entirely. So what they end up having to make these little short stories in between, and it doesn't actually come from the source material. So we call that filler, which it could be good or bad. It just depends how the studio works it out. Because sometimes it is beneficial to the show, and then the other is just completely sidetracked. Some shows in general, like just cut to it without a good explanation. Bleach, and
One Piece. One Piece.
They went really hard on that, and just sometimes it works out for the best, and it brings in more backstory and whatnot. But a lot of the times it's not so great, sadly.
Yeah, but I mean, one of the things they do try to do with fillers is not just because they're also catching up, is because they're also trying to get more viewers as well by giving you a story that you didn't read exactly like in manga or a light novel or anything like that. But if it is interesting enough, they do have the ability to tie that into the actual show, which I think is pretty cool. Like, for example, in Naruto Shippuden, with it being a very popular show, it is now over now, but well, at least from what we know. But yeah, they had the second tuning exams. That was one of the fillers, as well as the whole like Madara versus what was his name? Harashima.
Yeah, just calm down. Some people might not be there yet. It's
right.
A long series.
Right, it is a long series, you're right. So we were trying to keep it spoiler free. But one of the fillers, as I was talking about, it is the junior exams. The reason I want to bring this one up in particular is because this does tie in to the show. We've always wondered how these guys made it to tuning, and every episode it showed the whole process without Naruto being there for whatever reason, blah blah. Like I said, I'm keeping it spoiler free. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, it did show the whole process, because you kind of missed the first time around, and it's really good. What do you call it? So we already told you why it happens. They catch up to the source material. Like for one, let's see, No Game No Life, which spoilers this time, we are going to do that next. You need to see that here in a week.
Yeah.
And so that one is actually off a light novel instead of a manga. So what ends up happening is if they wanted to, they could make the manga too, but I think in this case they didn't. And so there's not much filler. It's off a light novel. It's already done, and it keeps going. Right now, that's why we're waiting for season 2. We're not waiting for more manga. We're waiting for a whole nother book.
Right.
So,
but don't you think also that like sometimes with fillers they do try their best to get people in there, but I feel that just sometimes like fillers just filler, dude. Like it's just like
it's because sometimes when the animation studio goes in, I don't know how the exact process works, but I'm pretty sure it's like you got the guy who actually writes the story, the source material. He probably okays certain things.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they do it on their own, and they're like, we just got to make something up. And sometimes the creative mind behind the actual story isn't the one to help make the filler, or he's only part of it, and then they get some kind of crap story.
But what did you think about like the whole like you remember like for example when they were trying to save Robin again? spoiler free. We're keeping it very light. When they were trying to save Robin, like they did a full like how was it like 10 episodes?
It was a 46 episode.
46. That was way off.
Annie's
I was trying to make it light, but okay, 46 worth of fillers.
For Annie's Lobby, which most of it was good and not a fit, but when they actually got to the point of doing the thing that pertained to Robin, I recall like 9 episodes straight of just flashback where it didn't really progress. They gave you something, but it was just kind of like, here's half the episode saying what happened so far. Here's what happened before that. All right, now back to like Robin doing a thing.
Nah, JK, we'll give you a little bit more of this.
And they did it for every single member, and it was just, I feel bad, but I kind of just blipped through it and went to like the actual thing when the story continued. Yeah, it happens, and that's like the only time I've ever had to skip through, but it was too much. It was over exaggerating.
But yeah, now we're gonna get to the portion of the video where we actually talk about how to survive filler. So here's one of the main points I wanted to bring up. Don't get discouraged or upset with the show or with the studio if they're at least providing you some kind of content. What I mean
is good.
Whether it is bad content or whatever you want to call it, whether yes it is filler or just random story, don't be upset with it. Just because I feel that nowadays people who do watch animes or read mangas are treating it as like just they're trying to critique it. They're not even doing what the purposes of an anime is supposed to be, which is just you leaning back and watching the show. You know, just lean back and enjoy it, guys. Like don't get too stressed out about it. They know what they're doing, you know, and they're doing it for you guys. They're not doing it for themselves. You know, like I know a couple of examples where like famous creators, like they take a week or two break. People go nuts on the internet, man. People go nuts, and they also send these guys threats, like you better not go on hiatus or whatever.
And this is not like it's a job like anything else. They need a break eventually, and when that happens, the shows need to keep going. So they gotta make up for that with interesting stories, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say like Bleach, because as bad as they were with the transitions, like it literally stopped mid-arc and was like, we're just gonna stop now, and here's another story. And that made me mad at first, but then I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Some of them were good, but it actually has one of my favorite filler. It ended up being a filler arc, but just because of the aspect of it, I loved it. Absolutely, and that was when the Zanpakuto was the spirits that possessed all the swords that came to life.
I love that. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
that whole arc was just great. I know some people hate it because it was filler, but I enjoyed the crap out of it. I don't know.
I mean, and that goes to what we were saying earlier. I was like, don't get disappointed because they're giving content, and that was interesting. Like, at least to me, to Oscar, and I'm pretty sure to a lot of people.
Give that guy a cookie. But no, that was it. Then what was one of your favorite arcs?
Well, to me,
filler, sorry.
Well, actually, this is one that I did mention earlier, which was the Junior exams one, because for the longest time, I'm like, are they ever going to show this? Like, that's what I was saying. I was like, are they ever going to show this? And what do you know? They're like, you know what? Let's go ahead, since a lot of people were requesting this, and we obviously haven't done this, probably on purpose. Let's go ahead and show this. And dude, it was like the best, like, I'm not going to say like the best couple episodes, but I'm like, wow, like this, it answered my questions in depth. Like,
It was just so useful for a filler. You'd almost think it was canon.
yeah, I'm like, I'm actually gonna say it was canon because technically that is how they did become Junie. So,
Yeah.
you know, I love it.
Well, I finished my water bottle. So I think we're done.
Yeah, looks like we're done.
But that's how you start with filler. If you got any more suggestions for anything else to cover, leave it in the comments below. But until then, we'll see you next time.
Hey there guys, if you liked that video, put some comments down below, subscribe to our channel, and please give us some likes, we would really appreciate it. Thanks.